Hello, welcome to Radiant Resilience. I'm Tori. Today's slow flow yoga practice is going to have a special emphasis on working the internal and external rotation of your hips, a little bit of core work. We're also going to be working on some shoulder movements to help with posture and some flows that help with the thoracic rotation or your upper back mobility, as well as working into your hamstrings a little bit. So we've got a little bit of everything. You will want to have a block handy if you have one of those. If you don't, there's one particular thing that we're going to be doing where you might want a little bit of height underneath your hands. So if you don't have a block, you might even use like a little step stool to put your hand on. And then the other things we're going to be using the block for, you could use like a taped up rolled towel, or even like a utility ball of some sort that's about this big. You could use those as options instead of blocks. And then the other thing you might want is something to pad your knees when we do some kneeling things. But if you don't need it, you don't have to have it. Okay, before we start, just to remind you to keep yourself safe, give yourself permission to skip or modify anything that is not working for your body in this moment. You are in charge. Okay, so let's get started. Coming down to the floor or your mat. And I always like to start out in constructive rest pose, which is this bent knee, foot on the floor position, arms comfortably from your sides, palms up. The knees can be apart, or you might even feel like it feels relaxing to let your knees fall in on themselves and prop each other up. So do what feels most comfortable there. And then take a big sigh and let your low back and your belly soften. So you're not pushing it down, you're just relaxing tension you might be holding there. And then another sigh and let your shoulders release towards the floor. Just let them grow as heavy as possible. And then lengthen the back of the neck out by moving the base of your skull away from your shoulders. And the reason I like to start in constructive rest pose is it's one of those positions that can be releasing for your low back. It also releases our psoas muscles, which are our first responders in a fight, flight, or freeze response. So if you're going through your day and you're feeling kind of stressed out all the time, chances are your psoas muscles are constantly in a contracted state. So this is a position that allows them to start to soften. And when they start to soften, it tells the rest of the nervous system, oh, everything's okay, and it can relax as well. And then start to bring your attention to the natural rhythm of your breath. And then we're going to expand in every direction on your inhales. And then just relax the breath out with long, easy, slow exhales. Inhale, expand as big as you can. Little pause, exhale, just release the breath slowly. Little pause. When you inhale, really focus on expanding into the back of the body as well. We often kind of forget that our breath can expand the back of the body. So feel that happening as well as the sides and the front. And then that easy long exhale. Now, as you're moving through this breath, you might play with extending the pauses that happen in between the inhales and exhales. And if you are going to do that, just hold your pause until you feel like you're ready to move to the next part of the breath. So you'll move to the next part before you can feel any strain. And when you finish this next exhale, take one more sigh. From there, slide your arms into a T position, palms facing up. Let your knees come apart if they were together. And then take a breath in, and as you exhale, drop your knees to one side and your head looks opposite the knees. Inhale, center. Exhale, other direction. So you're going to move in time with your breath, exhaling into each twist, inhaling as you come into the middle. The next time you come into a twist, stop there. The direction your head is looking, slide that arm up by the side of your head. Inhale, stretch out through that arm. Hold the stretch even as you're breathing. Feeling the rib cage and maybe down into the side of your waist, feeling some length. And then slide the arm back down to a T position and sigh. Moving through center and over to the other side. And when you get there, the arm you're looking towards, bring it up by the side of your head. Inhale, stretch through that arm. Hold the stretch. Breathe deeply. Notice, does this side, the lengthening on this side, feel the same as the first side? It may or may not. Just something interesting to note. And then bring the arm back down to a T and sigh again. And then coming up into middle, lengthen out your legs on the floor. Reach your arms up over your head. Inhale, stretch out through your whole body. Exhale, relax. And then just stretch one side of the body on your inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, stretch the other side. Let it go. And one more full body stretch. Inhale and release. Deep breath in. Exhale, one knee comes in into your chest. Now, if this isn't feeling comfortable on your low back, you could slide the leg that's long, slide that foot to the floor with a bent knee. That makes it a little softer. Take a sigh here. And then we're going to switch to the other side, hugging the knee in, adjusting the other leg to where it's most comfortable, and sigh again. Both knees come up into the chest, and then you can either rock side to side, or you might choose to circle knees going in the same direction, giving your low back a little massage. And then if you are circling, go in the opposite direction. Bringing the knees back into center, open knees apart, circle them around, bring them back together, moving through your hip joints, biggest range of motion you can do without pain. If holding on to kneecaps doesn't feel comfortable, you might try holding on to the backs of the thighs. Sometimes that feels a little better. And then the next time did we reverse? We got to reverse. Go the other direction. I can't remember if we did. The next time your knees are in a wide position, keep them wide and pull them towards your shoulders. Now you might choose to stay there with the shins where they are, or you can start to stack your feet over your knees so your shins point straight up into happy baby. Tailbone stays long, and you might choose to rock. And then come back into center. Take a breath in and out. As you release that, bring your knees in, hands come to the backs of your thighs, flex your feet, breathe in, exhale, lengthen legs up, inhale, bend, and continue straightening and bending or going as close to straight as you can, pushing out through the heel when you straighten the leg. And then the next time the legs go long, hold them there. You might reach the arms up, point and flex your feet, and then move through the wrists. So your palms face up, face down. Spread the fingers and the toes out as much as you can. And then rotate your ankles and your wrists. And rotate the opposite direction. Flex feet, spread your toes out, give your hands a shake. Now we're going to take our block, and this is where if you don't have a block, you could use like a rolled up towel that's kind of taped into position, or even a ball of some sort. But we're going to bring the block in between your ankle bones. So you're kind of using your adductors, your inner thighs, to press into your block. Feet are going to stay flexed, and then you're going to rotate through your thigh, through your hip joint, to turn your toes out. And now you're going to do the opposite. So you're going to turn the toes in as much as you can. Now the block gets in the way a little bit, but we're going to be changing the position of the block in just a moment. So we're just working on this. Takes a little coordination to keep the block in place. Okay, now the next time your toes are pointing straight ahead, we're going to move the block narrow width down to the knees. So now you're going to have a little more room for that internal rotation. Continue with this motion, toes out, toes in, keeping the foot flexed. And notice which direction is easier for your legs to go in. And also notice, do the legs, are they able to rotate out and in to the same range, or are there some differences? Okay, and then toes straight ahead. Now we're going to go even higher with the block into the thigh, which causes you to work your inner thighs a little more, and then same thing, rotate. It's amazing how just this little movement can actually feel kind of tiring, right? And then toes straight ahead. From there, we're going to move the block back into the knee position. Arms are going to be out to the sides with your palms facing down for some stability. Low back is going to gently press into the floor. Knees stay right over your ankles. Little squeeze of the block as you bring your shins to a tabletop. Now this is a very small motion. Breathe in, and as you exhale, you're going to if you're moving into a twist, but you're only going to go to that place where you start to feel some engagement in your core, and then come back. So you're not going into maybe what your full twist could be, just the beginning of that twist, just to get your deep core working. The arms are just stabilizing you a little bit, and you're still squeezing the block tightly. And this is another one where you can kind of compare sides. And does it feel the same on each side, or are there some subtle differences? Okay, we'll just do one more here. And then come center. You can set your block down, bring your feet to the floor, slide your arms down by your sides, turn your palms up, shoulders and arms pressed down. Exhale on your inhale, bring yourself up into your bridge, and you might walk your shoulder blades in towards each other, pressing the arms down, or you could even choose to clasp. What I want you to do is to check in with your low back and your knees. So if you're feeling discomfort in your low back, you might lower your hips a little. The other thing you might want to do is really lengthen your tailbone towards your knees. So you're scooping the navel in and up, tailbone is working down towards the knees. And then if you're feeling any discomfort in the knees, walk your feet forward an inch or two. And that just can take some pressure out of the knees if you're feeling anything there. Breathing deeply. Weight is even on your feet, not only right to left foot, but inner and outer edges of the feet. And then on your next inhale, come up onto toes. And then exhale, spine rolls down. Once your hips are released, let your heels come down. We're going to work into our shoulder rotation a little bit. Bring your arms out, straight out. And then bend your elbows. So these are robot arms, and you're going to rotate through the shoulder, bringing your arms down towards the floor by your waist, and then go up and bring them to the floor by your head. Once you do that, press the backs of the arms into the floor and try to lift your elbows up. Elbows come down, rotate arms down. Rotate arms up, lift the elbows if you can. Elbows down, rotate arms down. Arms rotate up, lift your elbows. And we'll do a few more of those. Rotate down and up, elbows lift and release. Now keep your arms in this saguaro cactus or robot position, and we're going to keep the arms bent, but then we're going to glide the arms along the floor up and down, almost like a snow angel, except for you have bent arms. Now you might come to some different spots in this motion where the arms can't stay on the floor, and that's okay. You're just working towards the floor. All right, so we're gonna keep working with this motion of the arms, except for, stop in the middle, one's gonna go up as the other slides down, and then switch. Just a few of these in each direction. Good. And then go ahead and come back, and then just give yourself a really nice hug, hands on your shoulders, and squeeze. Notice which arm is on top because we're going to switch. Open arms wide, and then hug with the other arm on top. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then release that right ankle to your left thigh. Press your right thigh open with your hands up by your hip crease. There's nothing wrong with pressing up by the knee. It's just when you press up by your hip crease, not only does it open the hip more as far as an external rotation, but it creates some space in this crease where the hip flexors are. And that can get kind of tight and congested. So it just creates a little space there. And then let that press go. And then we're going to keep either the left foot staying on the floor, or you could set it on your block, or bring your left knee into your chest, hands or a strap around the back of your left thigh. From there, rock side to side. And then moving towards the left, you'll get more intensity. So find where you want to stop, breathe there. Okay, and then we're gonna release that. Same on the other side. Left ankle to your right thigh. Press your left thigh open up by your hip crease. Let that press go. Right foot on the floor on a block, or right knee to the chest. Rocking side to side. Flex the foot to keep your knee stable, your top foot. And then going right gives you more intensity, so go where you want to stop. Breathe right there. And then let that go, both knees to the chest. Do a little side to side, rocking. And then we're going to roll to one side and bring yourself all the way up to seated. Once you come up to seated, we're going to roll the shoulders up, back, and around. And then we're going to continue with that movement, but the shoulders move separately, like you're backstroking with your shoulders. Rib cage is going to move at the same time to really get that thoracic spine, the upper back to start to move, release tension there. And then on your next inhale, shrug your ears or your shoulders to your ears. And then exhale, drop the shoulders, press your hands down, and bring your chin down to your chest. Take a sigh. Now keep your chin on the chest as you glide it to the collarbone on one side, through center into the other side. Back to center, roll your head ear to the shoulder, forward and the other shoulder. Keep going right here. Okay, the next time you bring your head over to the right side, press down a little firmer with your left hand and do some head nods. Space between your upper and lower teeth so your jaw is relaxed. Stop and sigh. And then head goes forward, other side. Head nods, right hand is pressing down. Stop, take a sigh. And then bring your head forward, chin to the chest, breathe in. Exhale, head comes upright. Inhale, stretch the arms up, interlace your fingers, press your palms up, shoulders lift up, shoulders drop down. Breathe in, and as you exhale, push your hands to the right, little pause, and come up. Breathe in, exhale, push to the left, and come back up. Bring your right hand down to the floor. Reach your left hand beyond your right knee. So we're gonna reach out to where you start to feel a little stretch, and then slide in. So we're gonna flow in and out of this. We're working the line of fascia along the back that runs from one shoulder down to the opposite hip. Okay, now the next time you come to here, turn your thumb pointing up so your palm is kind of facing your head, and then follow your hand with your gaze. Inhale, slice the arm up into a diagonal. Exhale, close the arm back down. And your spine is opening, chest is opening, and then you're rounding. And we'll do a few more of those. Sweep up and down. And last time, sweep up and just pause there, take a breath, and then reach back down. From there, come up. If you're able to, switch the cross of your legs. We generally habitually sit with the same leg in front all the time, so this can help even things up, but you might notice this side feels a little tighter because of that. Leaning onto your left hand, right arm reaches beyond your left knee, and then we're going to glide out and glide in. So definitely I can feel some more tightness on this side. Notice what you notice. We'll do a few more here. Reach out and in and out and in. Now turn your palm so that your thumb is pointing up. Inhale, glide the arm back, and exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round the spine a bit. Inhale, open out. Exhale, round. Now this time as you open, we'll hold there, breathe, and then bring the arm back down. Coming back up, bring your feet out in front of you, leaning back onto your hands, roll the shoulders up, back and down, push the palms down, squeeze shoulder blades together, hearts lifting. Find a position for your head that makes your neck feel comfortable. You can stay here, or you might lift your hips up. Breathe right there. And then bring the hips down, leaning back behind your sits bones. Move your knees side to side, giving your glutes a little massage. I always think this feels really good. Okay, and then we're going to work into our table position. Once you come up to table, pad your knees if you need to, but once you're up to table, let's also just get our block kind of out in front of us so that it's available when we need it. And then take your right leg out behind you, tuck toes under, push back through the heel. Now, if you want to add a little more arm and core into this, bring your left knee up to your chest. Left knee comes down, right knee comes down, same thing on the other side. Left leg out, toes under, push back through the heel. Maybe bring the right knee up. But the real focus is stretching through the back of the left leg. And then coming back to both knees, toes tuck under. We're going to work the feet a bit. Exhale, hips go back. Inhale, hips come forward. So this can be very intense. You only go back to what feels right for your feet. No point in overdoing it. You have to live with yourself tomorrow. Okay, next time, hips are back. You're going to keep them there. Keep your toes where they are and move your heels side to side so that you're kind of working down to the big toe and then going out to the little toe. Ah. All right, and then come back up, toes stay under, lift your knees up. You can stay right here if you want more challenge. Tap opposite shoulder. And these work your core, they make your legs work, they work your arms. And these little diagonal taps, good for the brain. Okay, last one, and then we'll just hold here for one more breath. Bring the knees down, lift the feet up, do a little ankle rotation, and then set the feet back down. We're going to do kind of a variation of cat-cow. Breathe in, and as you exhale, push your hips back towards your heels, and then round your spine in that cat position, and then come up to table. From there, inhale into your cow. Exhale, push back and round, come up and arch. So that's the flow. Go back, round your spine, come up, arch your spine. We'll do a few more of those. Push back, round, come up, and arch. Inhale. As you exhale, move into just a few regular cat-cows. Round, arch. One more time. Round and arch. Coming back to neutral, we're going to work into plank. So your variation of plank. You can be on toes or knees. You can be on hands or elbows, or any combination of those four. Lengthen the spine, tailbone long, navel scooped in and up. Broaden your collarbones, smooth out your breath. And then check in with your head. Is it hanging down? If it is, press the back of your head up so that it lines up with the rest of your spine. Taking just a few more breaths right here. And then we're going to work our way down to the floor. So you can bring knees down and roll down. You could bring knees down and try to lower down in a plank, or you can lower down just like that. All right. From there, bring your arms out, straight out to a T position, and then turn your head to the right. Bend your right elbow so that you can push down into the floor with your right hand. And then and the left arm is still out to the side, palm down. And then we're going to lift the right leg, bend the knee, push your hand into the floor, roll that hip back as you bring the knee or the leg behind you. And we're working into a stretch on your left shoulder. And then come back. Now we'll do the other side. Lengthen the arm out. Turn your head to the left. Left elbow bend so you can push down with your hand. Lift the left leg, bend the knee. Roll it back as you push your hand into the floor and feel that stretch in the front of your right shoulder. Again, not overdoing it. Just going to what feels right for you. Now we're going to go back to the right one more time. Leg lifts and push. Feel that stretch in your left shoulder. And come back. Turn your head to the left. Right arm long, left arm bent. Lift the left leg, roll open, and feel your right shoulder stretch. And then come back. Bring your forehead to the mat. Slide your arms down by your sides, palms facing down. Tailbone is long, scoop in your navel. Engage your glutes and press the tops of your feet down into the floor. And then lift just the arms, squeezing shoulder blades together, reaching arms back. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, keep your head in line with the rest of your spine as you come up into a little cobra without using your arms. Breathing right here. Good. And then hands under forehead. Relax all the way down. Take a big sigh. Wiggle your hips side to side. And then bend your knees, move your feet side to side like windshield wipers. Now from there, bring your feet to point up. Now you're going to go slow and not fling your feet. You're just going to move the feet away from each other and then cross the calves and move them away and cross. So it's important not to like fling the feet out in any direction, to go slow and just within a comfortable range here. All right. And then lengthen the legs back out. One more big breath right here. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Press your way up into a table position. Wag your hips side to side, exaggerating your shoulder movements. The bigger the shoulders go, the more in a little side stretch you're going to get. And then come back center. We're going to come into puppy pose using the block underneath the forehead. So if you don't like this, you can just move it to the side. But we're going to bring the forehead to the block. Hips stay up, arms stretch forward. Now you can go as wide as you need to for your hands. And then lift outside edges of the shoulder blades up. You might work up onto your fingertips. And just notice this gives the neck a chance to maybe reset, to kind of reverse that hump that most of us are developing, unfortunately, with forward head posture. We can blame it on all those screens that we're always looking at with terrible posture and our head bending forward. This can help reverse that just a little bit. Let's take one more breath right here. And then go ahead, ease your arms back, and then release yourself down into child's pose. Slide your arms down by your sides. Let yourself rock a little if that feels okay. And then come center. Take a big breath in, let it out. All right, reach the arms forward, coming up to table. So this is one of the spots where we're going to use our block. And I mentioned if you don't have a block, even just like a small stool can be really helpful. What we're going to be doing is taking our hands onto the block, onto its high end. Now, if you don't need the height for this, you can skip a block altogether. I'm going to show it with. And then we're going to take the right foot forward. So your block is under your left hand, right foot is forward. And we're going to find our lunge, right? Find our lunge, knee is over the ankle. Engage your left glutes just a little bit. Now your right arm is going to do some flow with this. So we're going to reach the right arm back and then up. And as you reach the arm up, you're going to straighten the front leg into a little twist here. And then bend the knee, arm sweeps back, down and forward, squaring your chest. We're going to flow with that. Reach back and up, straighten the leg. Reach back, down and forward, bend the knee. Couple more, back and up, straighten. Down and forward, bend. Last time, back and up, and we're going to hold this one, giving yourself a chance to really feel this. You might even feel it along the outside of your thigh. And now we're going to come forward, bend the knee, sweep the arm forward, and then lift the heart up. You can stay right there, or you can bring the other arm up as well. Big breath in, let it out. From there, bring your hands down, shift your hips back, and then we'll come to both knees. Same thing on the other side. So now the block is going to be under your right hand. Your left foot comes forward, finding your lunge. So just take a moment to adjust stuff so that your front knee is pretty much over the ankle instead of over your toes. Left arm is going to be the flowing arm. So bring the arm down, and then we're going to sweep it back and up as you straighten the front leg and twist left. And then bend the knee, sweep the arm down and forward. Really stretch. Sweep back, up, straighten. Sweep back, down, forward, bend. Couple more. Back, up, and straighten. down, forward, bend. Last time, back up and straighten, hold right there. Work at bringing your left hip back, right hip forward just a bit. And then back and or forward. Heart lifts, maybe both arms come up. We're going to be returning to that little sequence a little later in class where I'm going to give you another option to make it a little more challenging if you want it. From there, bring your hands down to the right of your foot, lift your back knee, tuck toes under, lift your back knee just enough so that you can walk your hands to the wide edge of your mat and take your block with you. If you need some height, you can use your block. Inhale, lift up, lengthen through your spine, and then exhale, fold down. Big breath in and sigh it out. From there, come back up to that halfway point using your block if you need it, and then ease your hands up to the very tops of your thighs. Little bend in your knees, push your thigh bone straight back as you're reaching through the crown of your head forward. We're just decompressing our spine a little bit. And then bring yourself upright. From there, walk your feet in just a little bit. Turn your toes out. We're going to bring the arms up. From there, we're going to bend your knees and do little circles with your arms. Now you're going to add, as the arms go back, you kind of straighten a little bit with the legs. Straighten and straighten and straighten. All right, reverse. Straighten. Up. Good. Okay, and then from there, come up. We're going to reach and pull. Right hand to the hip, left arm stretches forward into a diagonal and pulls up. And then switch sides, reach and pull. So these are more functional movements. Movements that we do in our everyday activities, reaching, getting things out of cars, getting things off of high shelves, getting things from the floor. Okay, so now we're going to change the height that we're reaching. So we're going to reach up and forward and pull, up and forward, pull. Shifting our weight, our balance from foot to foot. Okay, and we're going to change the height again to reach down, down, pull, down, pull. Just a few more. Last one. Good. And then from there, reach down to get your block. Walk your feet out to what your warrior two width would be. Toes are forward. And then turn right toes out. Bend the right knee, stopping over the ankle, thigh bone, shooting that line down the center line of your foot. From there, take your block up. Arms are as straight as can be. Push your hands into your block. Look out over your right knee, your right shoulder. Now, breathe in, and as you exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean to the right. And up. We'll just flow with this a few times. Think of your upper body being seaweed, flowing and easy, while your legs are strong and stable. All right, wonderful. And then come up. From there, block stays in your right hand, left hand comes to your hip, reach up and back, creating a little extra load by holding the block. And then come up, switch the block into your left hand, bring your right elbow or hand to your thigh, stretching up and over into side angle pose. Now we're going to take our block and our left arm and reach it up, and then we're going to thread it down and behind through that leg, and then inhale it up. Exhale, thread it down. Inhale it up. And again, down. and up. Now we're going to change it a little bit again. You're going to thread it down and through. Now take your bottom arm, reach back, and then you're going to sweep up. Turn those toes forward, both arms come up, turn, left toes out, bend the left knee. Find your warrior two position on this side, and then we're going to do our strong base, seaweed upper body. Breathe in, exhale, lean right. Inhale up, exhale, lean left. And up, and go a few more times with the breath. Exhale. Inhale, last time. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Keep the block in your left hand. Right hand comes to the hip. Reach back. Notice, like me, I started to lose my bend in my knee because my legs were getting tired. So maybe come into it a little deeper. And then come up. Right hand holds the block. Left hand or elbow on the thigh. Reach and stretch through your right side. Okay, we're going to take our right arm and thread it down and reach it up. Thread it down. Reach it up. Couple more. Down and up. Now, as you thread it through, your bottom arm grabs the block and we're going to come up. Turn the toes forward. Now we're going to go to the other side. Right toes out. Lean. Thread. Catch the block with the other hand. As you come up, toes turn forward. Other toes go out. Side angle pose. Thread the arm. Transfer the block. Come up. Toes are forward. Again, toes out. Side angle pose. Thread the arm. Catch it with the other arm. Come up. Toes are forward. Last time, toes out. Side angle pose. Thread the arm, transfer the block, come up, and toes are forward. Bring your hands down, set the block to the side. We'll use it again in just a moment, so you're going to kind of have it over by the side. Toes turn out, inhale, stretch up, exhale, come down, goddess pose. Take a breath in and out. Hands to the inner thighs, push the thighs back, chest is forward. One shoulder dips, the other one lifts. Switch to the other side. Back to center. Bring your hands down. Walk them towards your left foot. Turn those toes forward. Lift the back heel. So this is where I had said we were gonna come back to that movement, but I'm gonna give you another option. So you could come back to what we did the first time. On the knee, come forward and reach up and come forward. If you want to go a little deeper with this, you're going to have the back knee up in more of a lunge. So you can see how that goes. If you don't like it, bring the back knee down. All right, so left arm is reaching down, and then we're going to sweep it back and up as you straighten your front leg and twist to the left. And then bend the front knee, sweep down and forward. Yes, sweep back up, straighten, bend down and forward. Couple more, back and up, down and forward. Now back and up, and we'll pause there. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Work your left hip back, right hip forward. And then bend the front knee, sweep down, forward, heart lifts, maybe both arms up. And breathe. Okay, hands are going to come down to the floor. Now, if you have the back knee on the floor, you can just switch to the other side. If you're in a full lunge, step forward, and then we're going to step the other foot back. Now, hands are on your left hand's on the block. Right arm is your flowing arm. Get everything set up. Remember, you can have back knee on the floor as an option. Sweep the arm back and up, straighten the leg. Bend, sweep down, forward. That's the movement. Back and up, straighten, down and forward, bend. Couple more. Okay, as we come up this next time, we're gonna stay there, breathe, work your right hip back, left one forward, and then reach forward. So maybe bring the arms up, breathe right here. And then hands come down. Now we're going to work our way into Ragdoll. So if you have the back knee on the floor, go ahead and lift it up just enough to step forward. Walk your feet out to about shoulder width or wider. Bend your knees, hang out in a Ragdoll. If that's not feeling good, do elbows or hands on your thighs, straight spine, head hangs. And then you might do a little swinging. Coming center for a breath. Hands to thighs, shoulders away from the ears to make your neck as long as possible. Shake your head no. Nod yes. Head hangs. Deep breath in. Exhale. Use your arms. Come up halfway with a flat back. Take another breath in, and then exhale. Roll your way up. Shoulders rolling up, back, and down. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to heart, and sigh. All right, bringing the arms down, opening the eyes, walk your feet underneath your hips, finding your mountain pose, palms are forward, shoulders relaxed. Inhale, sweep arms up, heart lifts. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, come up halfway, maybe slide hands up the legs. Exhale, come down, fingers reach back. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Sigh here. Bring your arms down. Inhale up to your toes. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. And then a third time, holding this time, trying to really root the base of your big toe into the floor to stabilize your ankles. Now, keep your arms reaching up. Heels come down. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, lower, fingers reach back. Inhale, all the way up. Hands to the heart. Weight into the heels as you push your hips back into your chair pose. Scoop the navel in. Lengthen the tailbone out. Knees, same width apart as your ankles. So they're not winging out. They're not dropping in on themselves. Broaden your collarbones. Check in. Are you leading with your chin? If so, lengthen the back of the neck. Now, if you want to make this more challenging, you can reach arms forward or up. Breathe. All right, heels push down into the floor. Inhale, bring yourself to straight. Sweep arms down, hands to heart, take a sigh. From there, walk your feet in so they're right next to each other. Arms come down. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, lower. Now, if your knees don't like this, you're going to skip it and just come to the sitting on the floor. But we're going to come into Perch Pose. Squeeze legs together. Heels lift. And then find your balance. If you want, interlace your fingers. Press your palms up. All right, from there, sweep the arms down. Ease yourself back. Hips to the floor, hands behind your knees. Roll the shoulders open. Let's find our core with a great big exhale. Feel the core knit together. Maintain that. Toes can stay on the floor or you can bring your shins up. Reach the arms out. Breathe in. As you exhale, open one arm back, the other arm forward. Inhale. Exhale, other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Exhale. Inhale. Hold right here. Breathe. And release. Swing your legs to the right so that you're on your left hip. I'm going to add layers. You only go with the layers that work for you. So we're going to walk the hands to the left, and some of you might be more forward, some of you might be more to the side. So really it's comfort. And then from there, we're going to lengthen out the spine. Your hip automatically does a little roll. That's okay. And then we're going to go down to the elbows. Now, one thing that I see a lot is people kind of just collapse into their shoulders. So you don't want to do that. Push the elbows strongly into the floor to lift out of the shoulder joint. Head, base of the head is pushing up. Now, to add the next layer, you're going to stretch the right arm forward. You can even use your fingers to walk your arm out further. Make sure that your left elbow is still strongly pushing into the floor so you didn't collapse your left shoulder. Breathe deeply right here. And then come back to both elbows. Come back up to both hands. And then take your block with you. We're going to unwind a little bit so that you're framing your left knee with your hands. From there, we're going to lay over the left thigh. Forehead rests on something. So if it's not a block, you could do stacked fists. Take a few breaths right here. And then if you want to take this further, you're going to start to straighten out the right leg behind you. Now, you don't have to do this next part, but this is where we're working towards dropping the right hip towards the floor as you turn the right kneecap down. Make sure your front leg, your left leg, no discomfort in the knee or the hip. It's okay to feel a stretch, but nothing painful. And breathe right here. All right, now take your hands, press your heart up, scoop the navel in and up, lift the heart for a moment, and then lean back onto your left hip, swing the right leg around. Same thing on the other side, so swing the legs to the left, now you're on your right hip, and then we're going to walk our hands to the right. Maybe as you lengthen, just check, maybe this is where you stay today, or go down to the elbows. Push the elbows down so that you're lifting out of your shoulders and press the base of your skull up. Staying there or stretching the left arm forward. Now you can drop your head a little bit here, but keep pressing the right elbow into the floor as you walk your left fingertips away from you, breathing deeply. Good, and then come back to both elbows. Come up to both arms or both hands, and then we're going to unwind a little bit, framing your right knee with your hands. Drape your torso over right thigh. Support your forehead with your fists or block. Just check in right here and see how it all feels. Maybe you stay here. If you're going further, start to lengthen the left leg out behind you. And then roll the left hip down towards the floor as the left knee points straight down. Check in with your front leg, your right leg. Make sure your hip and your knee are happy. If they aren't, change something. Maybe shift the angle of your thigh or your shin. Or maybe don't roll the right hip down as far. All right, take another breath in and out. And then hands press down into the floor, scoop the navel in and up, lift the heart briefly, and then lean onto your left or your right hip and bring your left leg around. From there, we're going to work down to the floor using the block one more time. So keep it close by. Hands behind your knees. Inhale, chest forward, heart lifts. Exhale, round back. One more of those. Inhale, up. Exhale, round back. Roll yourself all the way down. Knees to the chest, rock side to side. Okay, we're going to do a supported half shoulder stand. If you don't like having the block underneath your hips, you can do this with your hips on the floor or maybe a folded blanket. But we're going to stay on the low height of your block as you bring it underneath your hips, widthwise along your hips. So your whole width of your hips is supported by the block. Once you set the block or your hips down on the block, just check in if you need to adjust it up or down a tiny bit to feel like it's in the right spot. Arms down by the sides, palms up, shoulders pressed down. As the shoulders press down, your heart is lifting, just like it does in bridge pose. And then we'll take the legs up. So you want the legs actively stretching up towards the ceiling, and the knees are pointing straight towards your face. So they're not rolled in, they're not rolled out, they're straight ahead. Heart stays lifted, breathe deeply. I really like supported half shoulder stand. It doesn't come with the same risks that full shoulder stand has, but it comes with most of its benefits. And breathe. Okay. We'll just take a few more breaths. This is also a really nice one to do with your legs going up the wall as a support. These are really great pose for before bed to just kind of drop down and calm yourself. Okay, then we're going to bend the knees. Set your left foot down on the floor and hug your right knee into your chest. Now you can let the heart kind of do what it wants to do naturally and come towards the floor as you hug your right knee in. And then keep your left heel on the floor as you start to work your left leg towards a straight position. If it doesn't get to straight, that's okay. Push out through the heel as you flex your foot. Big sigh. And then slide the left foot to the floor. Right foot comes down to the floor and then the left knee to the chest. Right heel on the floor as you start to work that leg towards a straight position, pushing out through your heel. Big sigh here. And then slide the right foot back to the floor. Bring both knees into your chest once more. Bring them in tight so that your tailbone curls up and the edge of the block is right at the top edge of your hips. Creates a little stretch through the low back, and the block can hit on all these acupressure points, these connection points at the top of the hips. Now, if you have a really dense block, like a cork or a wood block, this might be too hard. So feel free to, put a blanket over it or maybe just skip it. And then come back to center. Take a breath. Release the feet to the floor. Move your block out from underneath you. Set your hips down, coming into constructive rest pose, the way we started. Then slide your right arm up to the side of your head. And we're going to roll on to the right side. Knees are bent. Left arm stretches out in front of you. Inhale, reach the left arm up and back behind you. Once you've opened the left arm out, slide your right arm down to a T position. Big sigh here. Then slide the arm back up to the side of your head and then sweep your left arm to the ceiling and bringing you back onto your right side. From there, roll to your back, both feet on the floor. Same thing on the other side. Left arm comes up by the side of your head, roll to your left side. Right arm stretches out in front of you. Inhale the right arm up and out behind you, opening out into your twist, and then slide the left arm down to a T as well. Take a nice big breath in, sigh it out. Slide the left arm back up by the side of your head, sweep your right arm to the ceiling, and then over onto your left side. From there, roll onto your back again, both knees to the chest, and do a little rocking or circling. And while we're doing this, just think to yourself, is there one more pose that would feel really amazing to your body? Whatever it happens to be, go ahead and move into that stretch, that pose that will make your practice feel complete. And once you've done whatever that was, bring yourself into final relaxation, into Shavasana. You can return to constructive rest pose. You can have your legs long. You could be on your side. Whatever will feel best for you, you're going to move into that. Make all adjustments that you need to make to feel as comfortable as you can be. And when you finished with that, take 2 or 3 more sighs. Each sigh, relaxing a little deeper. And when you finish those sighs, let your breath flow easy. Every exhale is allowing you to let go of any tension or stress that you might still be holding on to. And each inhale is just bringing in relaxation, peace, and calm. This is your time to recharge, to integrate the benefits of the practice that you just did, and just to allow yourself to be right here, right now, in this present moment. Everything else can wait for these next few minutes. Breathe into your belly. Let it go. Breathe in belly, low ribs. Let it go. Breathe in belly, ribs, upper chest, the biggest breath you can take. And let it go. And taking your time, Slowly, gently bring some movement back into your body. If you are still lying down, making your way onto your side, and give yourself another sigh when you get there. And then gently, easily pressing yourself up into a seated position. And when we come into seated, we're going to come into that gesture of the divine heart, right hand to your heart, left hand stacks on top. Tuning back into your breath, into your heart beating, and noticing the movement beneath your hands. Feeling the life within you, the life force, the energy, the movement, and feeling gratitude for it. Every moment we take a breath is a new beginning, a new opportunity. And taking one more sigh. Bring your hands together at your heart. Bow your head towards the heart center and thank yourself for your practice today. I thank you for giving me the chance to share it with you. Namaste.